So what's good, Starseeds? I'm trying to take the filter off and just kind of give you the thoughts that I have exactly as they're coming out of me. Um, Getting to the point now where the filter is being totally removed. And long story short, I've been a guy that's been awake in the Matrix for about 5 years, over 5 years, something like that. I really don't look in the past like that, but you can see the documentation that I've put out as a scientist, one that wanted to know the truth. Woke up in the Matrix, started documenting it for people to basically um, to help them, with the roadblocks and stuff that I had to learn. So I left breadcrumbs for the other beings, such as yourself, that really want to know this. So I live in two worlds now. I have a matrix job, and then I have the actual reality that we live in. Being awake is sometimes a lonely experience because the things that you're passionate about, you can't really talk to many people about or express yourself. So I understand some of the things that I've seen in some of the posts. So I'm playing both sides of the field and walking that balance. As you can see, this is posted on my Facebook page with my quote unquote friends, and also on this page where we're talking to people that are on the spiritual journey. And they go back and forth. So as a star seed, also posted a post to show the vastness of the universe and how the odds of life being all over the place is definitely astronomical for it being a fact versus just happening by chance. So if that's the case, and you do believe that you're an immortal spiritual being having a human experience, who's to say you can't have experience in other dimensions, in other planets, in other galaxies, blah, blah, blah. So who's to say that that soul, that essence, that spirit can't incarnate there and come here? So that's what a star seed is. So being that, that's what I am, that's what I resonate with. And I know it sounds crazy to the people on this side, but to the people on that side, they know what I'm talking about, and I'm just playing the middle. Because being as someone that played the middle as a scientist, I wanted to back up my feeling and my intuition with as many facts as I can. And it will only lead you up to a point, and then past that point, you have to basically have an experience. You have to have your own feeling. It's like someone telling you what an orange tastes like. I can explain it and document it up to a point, but there gets to a point where you got to bite the orange yourself. You got to have your own experience to say, that's what it tastes like. And words will not get you to that. I'm just showing you a little bit of the behind the scenes. This has all been documented. This is the pretty stuff that's in front of all the work that's been done in the background. I'm trying to make this quick, but it's not exactly happening quick, but I'm just going to run through this. Some people will gloss over this, blah, blah, blah. It really doesn't matter. Part of my job is to lay out this information in as clear and concise a way as I can. And hopefully I'm doing the best job that I can do. I feel that I am. Still have room to grow, still want to level up. And part of this is, putting this out in the open and not being afraid to be yourself. It's funny. It's almost like being conscious is almost worse than and I have no problem with anyone's sexuality, but it seems that being of a different sexual whatever is worse than being conscious. Like they'll accept you more for that than the other way. And even though you can look at it from a scientific standpoint, the holographic reality, the people are talking about this is a matrix or a simulation, all that stuff. You can look at it scientifically and you can see that they're really talking about the same thing. From a spiritual standpoint and a scientific standpoint, we're talking about the same thing. So I'm speaking about this very matter of factly because I've lived and experienced this for years on the underground, and now I'm basically coming up to the forefront and just being a spokesman for myself, if you will. And I know there's other people that are sharing this same thing. I know I'm nobody special. I know we all have our own journeys, we have our own crosses to bear, we have our own fingerprints, and they're all unique and they're all valid. The thing is, what I want to see, and this is part of my experiment, is to see, I already kind of experienced a lot of time on this side of the matrix with that side of it. And I want to experiment with this side of it. And I've never really done that. And I have nothing to sell you. I'm not going to try to do a reading or this, that, and the other. I'm not a guru, don't claim to be. The whole idea of spirituality is to allow you to be your own guru. And I've done plenty of examples of this as far as laying out my experience and the logic leading up to it. It's just not based on my experience. The whole idea is to have you to get your own experience so that you don't need anyone to tell you anything and you have your own inner voice. I was listening to the dialogue in Toy Story 4 when I saw that the other day, and that's mainly what that story was about, among other things, is your own inner voice, your own intuition. Buzz Lightyear didn't realize that he had his own intuition, and he kept pressing that button and listening to himself. And the thing about him is he followed that inner voice. We all have that inner voice. That's something that tells us something's right or wrong and all of that. My journey is listening to that voice and following it, even when it tells you to do something that's counterintuitive to the masses. And you look at what the masses are doing, and I'm considered crazy when it comes to what the masses are doing, but look at the trajectory that the masses are on. So that led me to create what I call the 100-degree challenge, which is a logical progression of the facts, to the best that I can put them out. And I'm putting this up for a scientific peer review to you, my peers, to show me where the errors are in my logic. And I presented this to family and friends, and I have yet to see someone show me. And I've tried to shoot holes in it myself, so I'm definitely open to being wrong, and hopefully you are as well, to the errors in the logic to show that it's not possible. It's not possible that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So if that is possible, then as a scientific person, I wanted to go down that rabbit hole, and that's what I did. So sorry for the long video, but I'm just wanting to introduce myself and also put out some information just to show that I want to have a conversation. I want to build a network and show support for those people that are going through this journey. And I've read some of the comments that people are posting on these spiritual pages. And it's funny, in Facebook, you have the people that are looking at sports and all of this nonsense. Then you got the people that are actually trying to do inner work and spiritual work and trying to wake up within this matrix. And it's both dynamics. It's the yin and yang of both. And it's a fine line to walk to be able to see both of them. So when I see people that are on that path, being on that path myself and having experienced that, I want to help, even if it's just having someone to listen. And I'm not going to charge anyone for anything, but the only thing that I ask is that if you do contact me, hopefully I can use your experience, and I'll blur out your name and all of that stuff, but to show other people that this exists and to also help other people. And hopefully you resonate with that. And if you do, then you can contact me, 754-800-9VIK or 9845. And I just want to experiment with that, just playing with this matrix. I have a 9 to 5. I can definitely do that, retire and die just like everybody else on this side is basically planning on and experience some life after death versus trying to experience life before death. I'm trying to experience life before death and see how much you can actually affect this matrix with your own intent, emotion, and all of that good stuff. So that's part of my experiment, and it's a broad experiment. It's a public experiment, and I'm one of those crazy guys that wants to change the world, and is actually applying himself to do that. And if I didn't think it was possible, I wouldn't apply myself to do it. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's tough, and it's challenging, but anything that's worth doing is all of those things. Again, trying to make this short. Never works that way, but it's a lot of information to convey, and coming out of the blue, just trying to show you that I'm just like you, and I'm not one of those people that will tell you to go to war and won't go to war with you. I've laid out the foundation to show that I've been in the trenches, underground, incognito, whatever you want to call it, but I'm still here, and now it's being more public and really being more bold and putting this in the face of the masses and actually saying we're not the ones that are insane. And let's have a discussion. Let's talk about the quote-unquote facts. Let's talk about the difference between facts and belief. Let's talk about the difference between facts and dogma. Let's put this thing together. Let's show the connection between science and spirituality. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with dogma. It's about an inner journey. It's about tuning your own inner dials to change your reality. When you think about your own reality, who is generating it? It comes from internal. It comes from you. You are generating your own reality. So you have the power to control it and to change it. The dials are internal. Most people are trying to change it externally or fill a hole that can't be filled externally with materialistic stuff. You can look at the famous people in the stars and all of that stuff that have all of this money and still don't find fulfillment. So it makes you wonder, like, wait a minute, if that's the whole game, like Donald Trump said, this game, and it's about money, and that's how he uses that's how he keeps score or something like that, something about that in his quote. But it's bigger than that. And we have examples of people that have attained a lot of wealth and fame and all that stuff and are still not happy. So the thing is, there's more to life than just materialistic stuff. And that's all each person's journey. Some will be ready for this information, some will not, some will resonate with it, some will not. My whole thing is just to express myself to the fullest, and I'm getting to that point. I'm coming out of my shell. I guess I'm wearing green like a Ninja Turtle, but I'm hoping to help other people come out of their shells as well. And you can look at vikterbang, which means victory over noise. There's a lot of noise here, getting above the noise, getting above the clouds. And there's a lot of information that I've put out, and hopefully this helps someone to be bold in their own life. And you don't have to try to beat anyone over the head with trying to wake them up. You're not going to be able to wake them up. It's something that they're going to have to do on their own time. So what I've done is on that journey just left breadcrumbs, just like some of the people that I look up to have done. So man, I already went past 10 minutes. Sorry for the length. Feel like I've rambled, but just again trying to introduce myself. And again, the number that I'm publicly putting out is 800. Oh my goodness, I got to remember this number. I don't put it out very often. But 754-800-9845. 754-800-9VIK. All right, peace, y'all.